Hello. Welcome to the first episode of the Unfiltered Truth. I decided that I did not want to have a first guest. The first guest is actually me. And that's because I wanted to introduce myself. A lot of people don't know me, and if people share it, I appreciate that. But I just wanted to touch on what topics I will be having on here. There's so many going on right now. I'm having conversations about polygamy, monogamy. It's so much going on in this world. Like, I cannot even understand where we're going right now, but I'm down for the ride. And I just honestly want to take this time out to thank everybody that has been pushing me. They've been on my case, and it's not going unheard. Like, I hear you guys. I want to thank Homie Hill because I forgot to thank him the first podcast I did. He's actually responsible for both covers of my book. He's responsible for the Love and Goal logos that I'm wearing. He's also responsible for the Unfiltered Truth, that logo. Like, he is one of the dopest people I know. He is super talented. So that's a shameless plug that I'm giving to him. And I knew I wanted to do this because I love to have conversations. Like, that is my thing. I like to learn about people. I like to learn about different things that I don't know. So that's what's most important to me. I actually had a chance to do a podcast a few weeks ago with a friend of mine. Her name is Lori. Her podcast is Conversations with a Gem. And I enjoyed that like so much. Sorry, I'm a little stuffy, but that's neither here nor there. But I just wanted to touch on that, and everybody that is like behind me. I didn't know how big this thing was going to be. So it scared me, honestly. So I've been going back and forth like, oh my God, should I get a studio? Should I do this? Should I do that? Everybody's like, oh, I'm going to be a guest. I'm going to be a guest. And it's like, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Like, the outpouring of love, like, I didn't know what to do with it. So everybody's like stopping me at work. Oh, when are you going to drop an episode? When are you going to tell us what it's about? And I'm like, you're killing me, people. You're killing me. Half of the time I'm tired. I'm not even going to lie. I am exhausted. Today I was off. So I'm like, you know what? There is no better time than the present. And I'm just grateful that people are trying to help me. They're sending me things. Like, it's so much help and so much love. And I'm grateful. Like, it's not going unnoticed. I'm so grateful. I was in Atlanta last week and I got a call from a friend and he's like, I have a topic for you. I'm like, I'm on vacation. Like, I don't really want to talk about this right now, but I still answered. We chopped it up. He was like, yo, I got a studio for you. Whenever you're ready, just let me know. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you so much. And my best friend, Charlene, hey girl, she had to tell me, like, you are the voice that people are waiting for. And I'm like, damn. Sometimes we're afraid of our own power. Like, we're not prepared for it. And everything has been preparing me for this moment. And I just was too blind to see it, to be honest. So that's really what was holding me up. Me. It was me. I definitely take responsibility. So with like the episodes, I wanted to explain too, like, what my show is actually about. I'm doing this off the top. There's no notes, nothing, as you guys can see. My mom, my mother, was on the phone with one of her friends in Guyana. And she said, Christine is doing a podcast and she wants to be in everybody's business. I was like, Ma, stop spreading that narrative. That is not true. I want people to bring their stories, because I feel like the world needs to hear what regular people are going through. It's not always about celebrities. We don't care half of the time. It's like they're going to live their lives and we're going to live ours. I actually want to hear real stories and talk to real people. Like, that's my unfiltered truth. I actually went on a date in October, and it was a blind date. We met on Instagram, actually, and we were chopping it up. I thought he was a bot or a Forex guy. I tell him that all the time. And he was like, no, I'm a real person. So we went to, Soho Park, New York. We went, we ate, we chopped it up. And during the conversation, he stopped to tell me, like, you need to be a podcaster. Like, you should host a podcast. And I didn't understand, like, what he meant. So I asked him, like, why did you say that? Knowing that my podcast is in the works. So he was like, your ideals, the way you think, the way you speak, it needs to be heard. And I'm like, guess what? So I was just telling him, like, listen, I actually want to start a podcast. Like, that. He was like, no, you really need to. So shout out to him. This is happening now, finally. So I'm, like, really excited to see, like, where this next step is, where it's going to take us, because everybody's coming along for this ride. Everybody that's asking me about it, you're all coming with me. Like, we're out of here. And I love that for us. Is there anything I want to talk about? But yeah, some of the topics I think is going to be dope, man. I know a lot of dope people. Like, I know musicians, business owners. Like, there's people building from the ground up, and it's like, I just look at them in amazement. And when people tell me, like, they're watching me, like, you know what? You're doing it. You're here. I'm just like, thank you. Like, it took me a while to see it for myself. So that's where I was hindering my own progress. I actually want to shout out my best friend, one of them. His name is Lawrence. He told me, I tell this story all the time, like, he told me when I was about 12, he was like 16. Like, it was a bunch of us that used to hang out. I was one of the boys all the time. Like, I was just chilling with them. So we used to, like, branch off and just have, like, real conversations. And I'm 12 years old. And he told me, he was like, you're destined for greatness. And I didn't understand. I was young. I'm like, okay, whatever that means. Not knowing that he saw it in me from 12 years old. And I was talking to my neighbor yesterday. Same thing. He was like, what's going on with your love and goal? And I'm like, listen, man, I'm about to stop because I want to get into other things. He was like, no, don't stop. Like, keep going. I'm watching. Like, I'm seeing what you're doing. You're always on your grind, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, thank you. He was like, no, like, I see greatness in your future. And I'm like, what did you just say? Like, it just threw me like, damn, everybody is seeing this in me and I couldn't see it in myself. So that's what was taking me so long. Now I'm seeing it like, oh, there it is. Like, sometimes you don't see that path for yourself, and I'm seeing it now, and I like it. I like where it's going. And then having different conversations with different people. I also want to shout out a good friend of mine, Tanae. Like, this woman sent me a mic. Like, a lot of people don't even know. Like, she just texted me one night, like, what's your address? I'm like, oh, so-and-so. So I'm curious, like, what the hell? So I didn't see the message that she sent to me. Like, she's like, do you need these things? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I didn't even realize she was texting me and we were in the DMs as well. So I'm like, what is she talking about? So I finally went and checked my DMs. And this woman sent me a whole mic set. I was like, what is this? Like, she's like, listen, like, that's my twin. Anybody that knows me knows that Tanae is my twin. So she's like, listen, I believe in you. And I'm like, wow, this is really bigger than me. And if I have to be that voice for a lot of people, then I'm here for it. Like, I've always been a person to stand up for the underdog, because someone has to, like, no matter what. But I don't want this to be anything extra and drama. I mean, if that comes with it, it comes with it. I can't stop that from happening, but that's not what this show is about. No, I don't want to know people's business. Like, I'm not running anyone down for a story. I love a story. Don't get me wrong. I do love a story, but a story that someone wants to tell. I'm not going to tell anyone's story, because that's not my place, and I don't have time for that. I'm not into the drama and all the foolishness that some people might think is the unfiltered truth. The unfiltered truth is just whoever wants to tell their unfiltered truth. And that's it. And that's where I am right now. So here's episode 1. I'm finally dropping it. And we'll see where this takes us, guys. Join the ride. I'm definitely excited to see this journey play out and have people on and just get to know the world, man, that we live in. Not the world that is on TV and we're like forced to watch and see. It's like, okay, we get it. Like, this is happening, that's happening. But people are living their real lives every day, and we walk past each other like it's nothing, especially in New York. So that's where I am with the unfiltered truth. This is my unfiltered truth. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.